Blessings, yo. Welcome to Life's Place. I just have a random thought again, before I leave. Some people are raised in the whole thing. I was just posting this video, but then again, I have to fuck with this storage because it's just no storage, right? Yo, the video was about how some of us are groomed into believing that the process of what great grandma and great grandpa went through, like the whole Papa was a Rolling Stone and grandma had made a home or whatever. Or Papa was a Rolling Stone, wherever he laid his hat was what he called his home, but he had a home, right? But great grandmama, she was doing her thing. She was keeping the bills paid, making sure his drawers was ironed and shit and like that, and the socks was hung up on the line to dry and shit. But she always sometimes some great grandmas had, Uncle Otis paying the bills, because sometimes the hubby, he forgot. Sometimes he was late on the bills. So Uncle Otis was always there. None of this shit ever happened in my house, right? But it's just like, the story goes, right? Where some people are groomed into accepting the cheating. There's accepting the submission of accepting that that is what a man's supposed to do, right? But not all men. No, not all men, not all women accept it, nor do they believe in it, right? But some people just don't have that self-sufficiency or that dependent or that independency where they are codependent on the process of, accepting and submitting to, because they don't have that mindset to suffice themselves or to be sufficient for themselves, right? Regardless of the children that they have within that marriage or whatever, or that relationship. But sometimes that Uncle Otis will take care of everything. Where so if anything was to happen, she'll have Uncle Otis on the side to always take care of everything because Uncle Otis already knew what was up, right? While the hubby is over there making homes and shit, right? So he'll always come back. But the thing is this, right? Nowadays in present day, the same shit does go on where it is an acceptance and there is an submission to accepting the cheating, because the home is always going to get paid type of shit, right? But that's how, man, look, that's how diseases happen and shit, motherfucker. This is how the DL shit happens. Now we're digging in something deeper than what the health surface level I was trying to stay on, right? Stay at the shore, motherfucker. Stay at the shore. Motherfuckers get too deep and even fucking drowning in shit that you said. Anyways, it's like, yo, that's where the secrecy comes in, right? Everything that happens behind closed doors, but motherfuckers want to keep the domestic violence. They want to keep the ruckus. They want to just keep the energy of low vibration in the bloodline, in the lineage, where the children see it. Like I've been through that shit myself, like a couple times, where a male is trying to control me by way of either beating you or trying to, manipulate your mind into making you believe as though that you are less than because they are the man, even if they ain't fucking working, they ain't even fucking putting no money in, but they are the man type of shit, where they try to control you, try to beat you into submission, whereas they supposed to, be able to do this and that. But some men ain't cheat. I ain't had nobody. Well, yes, I did. But anyways, some people are groomed into that aspect that they are supposed to submit to that and they're supposed to accept that. Whereas in truth, no, you're not, right? Because you can do for you, right? And I wish you do, right? I wish for everything to grow for you and all that you think that is positively growing for you and all the love and prospects of the Most High to afford to you in prosperity and abundance, right? When it comes to that aspect of life, because I've been there and you can start over from scratch and from any place that you want to when it comes to the elevation of you. It's a choice for you, right? But some people are moved towards a choice where they're actually manipulated and influenced into accepting and staying in something that is unhealthy for them. Some people are actually overfed, you know, in they were overfed influence by way of making them stay at the table to keep eating foods that are unhealthy for them, whereas they convince themselves that they are healthy, even though they don't like the vision of themselves, even though they don't like the image of themselves, even though they are not accepting of who they have become by sitting at the table, accepting all the foods, all the conversations, and accepting and submitting to everything that makes you uncomfortable, you know, all because they are comfortable in what they have become. And they want you to, damn, they want you to stay comfortable. It's like back then, people stayed in marriages even if there was fist fighting and everything else, and people called it love. Whereas nowadays, a good amount of that is called domestic violence, right? But we can't stop anybody from wanting to do what they do. Like, when couples fight, you leave them alone because you don't never know in the next hour or so, shit, the next minute, they're going to sit up there, be battered and bruised. We all been there too. It's like, but some people do grow out of it. A good amount of people do grow out of that whole tumultuous thing where the emotional bond was traumatic, and you do learn your lessons, but some don't. Whereas they rather stay at the table and blame you for the vision that they no longer accept for themselves. It's like, man, those are the same ones that will fucking blame you for choosing you and for healing you and being stable just for you. Whereas those are the same fucking ones, yo. This is where the envy and the jealousy kicks in, because you found a path for you. You created a path for you, and you don't have no hand out for anybody else to fucking feed you. Therefore, you got to be trained in, wow, trained for a motherfucker. You got to be a trained motherfucker not to bite the hand that feeds you, but you can talk your ass off. You can throw things. You can fight, but you can't beat the opponent that's trying to keep you in place. Especially if it's an elder. Man, a grandmama or mama comes in and she's at the head of the table. Damn, it's the same one that's actually controlling the narrative of everybody to make sure everybody's staying the same table. Bless you. The same table, doing the same thing, all because she is the one that's running things, the one that's holding the image up, that everybody's holding up. But she's speaking and moving everybody through the bitterness of what it is that she had to accept herself. Therefore, everybody below her has to accept the same things too. Therefore, the manipulation and spell work by way of making sure that everybody stays on the same conversation of accepting and submitting to what she herself had to. Wow. Because she didn't want her own hubby, let alone, no, she didn't want her own hubby to take accountability, let alone responsibility for what he had at home. But she also has to take in the karma because she invited Uncle Otis into the home and basically created a life with Uncle Otis outside of hubby creating homes everywhere, but still was accepted at home because the bills were paid. Money is always tied into everything, If you can't make your own money, then you got to be careful with the hand that bites you, the hand that feeds you. But when you are making your own money, it'll be the same ones that's afraid to bite the hands that feed them, all because they know they'll starve, are the same ones that will scam and scheme and use everybody just so that they can eat. And they would be too proud to actually take food off of your table just so that they and their own children and family can eat. This is the mindset. Wow. All to hold up an image. And because of your sense self-sufficiency and stability and foundation that you created for you from scratch, with the mud, the sticks and the stones they threw at you, those that are trained to not bite the hand that feeds them are more likely, wow, are more likely to throw that black magic at you, that voodoo, do the spell work and the manipulation at you to try to make you lose your stability by trying to take finances away from you, customers, clients, everything else, jobs, this and that, because they are sitting at tables with people that they gathered around that have the same envy and jealousy towards your self-sufficiency and stability and your beauty. Wow, your body too. These are the same people that's making you out to be everything that they are because they are afraid to bite the hand that feeds them, or they bit the hand that feeds them and they lost the sufficiency. Now they're out for self. This is the same one that will use their own children. Wow, they'll use their own children against you to keep you still. Whereas Big Mama's going to sit there and hold the grandchildren and everybody still to keep them at the table doing their thing. Wow, this is a deep ass this is a whole patriarchal, matriarchal fucking hierarchy that needs to be flipped upside down because everybody's an individual with their own thoughts. Because who wants to sit in something that they're forced into? Anyways, y'all, know what the most I got you. Have a good one. Bye.